on Meet the Driver, Michele Rugolo. Hello, Michele. How are you
doing?
Thank you so much to be here with us. And I want to ask you, how did your passion for speed started?
It started 30 years ago, more or less. I was 7 years old, probably. My father used to have a car dealer, so I grew up in the middle of cars and I started testing go-karts around the dealership. So that's when my passion
For speed started?
Yeah.
Your favorite driver of all time?
Like many other drivers, my favorite is Ayrton Senna.
And your favorite circuit?
Bathurst in Australia, which is quite unusual because normally you hear from drivers Spa-Francorchamps or Imola, Monza.
Yeah.
It's a very unusual racetrack because it's part of the circuit is on the street.
Yeah.
And it's quite long, very dangerous. There are kangaroos.
Everywhere.
In the middle of the race also.
So you have to stop the car to let the kangaroos come and...
Well, you need to be alert because if there is, like they say that if there are 3 yellow flags waved, it means that the kangaroo might be on the track. So you need to be
slow down.
Attention. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about your routine as a driver.
Let's say I'm not anymore a professional driver,
okay.
As I used to be until a few years ago, where I was quite committed on this sport. So I was training daily, paying attention to the diet. Now my approach to motorsport is slightly different because I'm driving in Pro-Am categories. I try to be in a reasonable shape, but
But you're not so focused.
I am focused, but I also like to live my life.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a good guy from Veneto, you know the region, I like to have some wine at night.
Quite well,
so.
yeah. So you are a happy Italian guy that loves to race.
Exactly. I still have the privilege to be a, let's say, professional racing car driver because I do it as a job. So I'm lucky.
You're also a coach?
I'm also a coach. I coach for Ferrari Corso Pilota, but also I have some guys racing in the Ferrari Challenge. And since a couple of years, I'm involved in a program with Pro Racing, which is Marco Ciocci and Giancarlo Fisichella. And they are developing young drivers. So they are managing and developing young drivers from Formula 4, exactly. So very young kids. I go from older gentleman driver that they do it as a passion
to the kids.
To the kids, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's very nice.
So you can see both parts.
You can see both parts. You can see the same attitude actually, because also the gentleman driver now they became passionate, but they put a lot of effort in motorsport, and you can see the same approach on the young kids.
They do a lot
with different
of
targets.
efforts to be on the top.
Yes. Yeah. Especially Formula 4 now is becoming super
competitive.
Difficult. Yeah, competitive. There are 50 cars on the grid. They test 100 days per year, so it's a really full-time job.
Time to celebrate at the Red Bull Ring. Passing Thoras and Michele Rugolo win the 7th race of the GT Open season.
So can you show us your helmet, please?
Yeah, it's a very old design.
It's very old.
It's very old, like myself.
No, come on.
I started designing, drawing my helmet. Then I took a very old helmet. I put some tape with my colors. And this represents myself since
it's very colorful,
years.
We can say that.
There is the Italian flag, and then...
The yellow is just your personality.
I like the matching yellow and blue.
Yeah.
But I also used to like Ayrton Senna, so yellow helmet.
Yeah.
I wanted to put also my flag on the helmet. And
because you are a proud Italian driver.
I'm a proud Italian, yes.
Okay, nice.
Of course.
And the blue is just like the sky with the stars.
Yeah, the blue was... If you remember, one of the first helmets with the blue on top was Michael Schumacher.
Yeah, I have this jacket, really. That is quite vintage.
Very nice. And I used to like a lot his the livery of his helmet on top, and I put a mix.
It's very aerodynamic. Thank you so much for being with us, and see you in the next episode on Meet the Driver.